What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the final round. I'm your host, Isiah, and today I'm just going to be doing a deeper dive into Valentina Shevchenko versus Weili that's taking place this weekend. I don't think people are talking about this fight enough. We have two of the best women on the planet fighting in a super fight. And it's not, we got pound for pound, number one and two women in the UFC fighting each other. No one's talking about it enough. So I'm going to get right into this. We got the defending champion. We got Valentina Shevchenko. She has done a lot in her career. I realize you can't see this record as well as I can, but since her loss to Amanda Nunes in their second fight, she moved down a weight division and achieved greatness, right? And she's fought in a title since her second fight at Flyweight up until today. She's been in a title fight. So that's what two That's that's 7 years she's been in title fights. That's insane. So she's beaten Joanna Jędrzejczyk, she's beaten Jessica Eye, Liz Camouche, Caitlin Saraminara, Jennifer Maia, Jessica Andrade, Lauren Murphy, Talio Santos. She had her trilogy with Alexa Grasso, where arguably she won twice, but only got one victory. One of them was a draw. And then she had that razor close fight against Amanda Farrat, where everyone said this was the girl to beat her. This was the girl to beat Valentina. Valentina edges out. So Valentina has been through the thick of it. She is actively the greatest woman fighter in the UFC. Amanda Nunes is above her, we have to admit, but she is a very, very close second, right? And Valentina has done it all. She's the GWOAT right now. She is the GWOAT, but she is a very technical striker. A lot of women cannot match it. In her older age, she has slowed down a little bit, so some girls are starting to catch up with her and giving her a bit of problems. But with that older age, she has adapted and she has utilized her wrestling a lot more. And we saw that against Alexa Grasso and Amanda Farrat, where she used her wrestling to help her win the fight, and that's going to be effective in her upcoming fight, where we got Zhang Weili, who is moving up from strawweight to flyweight to get a second belt, where she has done everything at strawweight, basically. She does have two losses to Rose Namajunas. The second one was very close, but she steamrolled Jessica Andrade to win the title in 42 seconds, had one of the greatest women fights ever against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, the consensus strawweight GOAT at the time, and edged that fight out. Where then she did lose the two fights arose, but after that came back, fought Joanna Jędrzejczyk again, finished her by spinning back fist, and then fought Carla Esparza for the belt, where she had choked her out basically with only one arm in. That's insane. That's how good Zhang Weili is. That's how much power and strength Zhang Weili has. And then she fought Amanda Lemos at UFC 292, which me and Jake were at watching live, and she did have a couple close calls on the ground where Amanda Lemos almost had a submission. But other than that, dude, it was multiple 10-8s, complete domination from Zhang Weili. Just outperformed and outworked her every step of the way. And then she fought Yan Janan at UFC 300, where she showed some holes in the striking, and but did win the fight. Basically had John Way or had Yan Janan finished twice in the first round, I think, or the second round. She basically beat Yan Janan three times in this fight by knockout, where it could have been stopped, by submission, where it should have been stopped, and by decision. So complete domination there. And then she fought Tatiana Suarez, where everyone was saying, this is the girl to beat Weili. Weili's a fucking monster. I mean, Suarez is a problem. She's so big. But it's toddy time. It's toddy time. Nah, it's Zhang Weili time, motherfuckers. Sorry, Texan. But she's done everything in this division, and honestly, at this point, she is the GOAT of the division. All right, and yeah, people are saying she should have shot or should have fought Varner Jandiroba, but let's be honest. Let's look back at that fight Varner just had with Mackenzie Dern, where Mackenzie Dern beat her. Let's be honest. Zhang Weili beats both Varner and Mackenzie Dern in the same night. There's no doubt in my mind that she could do that. That's how levels above she is all these girls in the strawweight division, in my opinion. So the next logical fight she has to do is fight the greatest woman of today in Valentina Shevchenko. This is a super fight. This is not being talked about enough. Both of these women have amazing performances. Year after year since Amanda has retired, these women have had arguments for being the best woman of the year or pound for pound number one. And right now, Valentina arguably is and deservedly is pound for pound number one. Weili is number two. This is a super fight. And I know the main event is a massive super fight as well. But this fight is honestly, if not in terms of legacy and on paper, bigger. Because these women are the GOATs of their divisions. When have we ever seen basically two GOATs fight each other like this? In their, I won't say prime, but at a point where they both still have much to give in their career. We are never going to see a fight like this in the UFC where we have this type of legacy and this type of success fighting each other. Like Volk versus Islam 1 was the highest technical champion versus champion fight we've ever seen. This fight on paper is, like, in terms of legacy, the biggest fight we've ever seen of two champions fighting each other, champion versus champion, GOAT versus GOAT. And arguably, you could say, Volk versus Islam is GOAT versus GOAT as well because of what they've done. But in terms of women, this is amazing. This is a massive fight, and it should be. It's not being marketed enough, in my opinion, because we're about to see history in the making. Like this fight determines the legacy for both women. Like if Valentina loses, everyone is going to say Valentina was one of the best of her generation, but when she fought other champions, she always fell short. So she would always be below those champions in terms of rankings. And if Weili wins, it's going to be like, holy shit, Weili is on track to possibly become the greatest woman fighter in UFC history, maybe even surpassing Amanda. But if Weili loses, it would be like, okay, she just did not have enough for the consensus greatest woman on the planet today. But if Valentina wins, it's just going to be that she's on a streak. She's on a tear. She is the best woman alive, and there's no one close other than Amanda. But it, this fight determines the legacy for both of these women, and honestly, I'm very excited to see this. Like we have a lot of great matchups on the card, and I'm very, very excited to watch all of them live. But this fight's got something else about it where I am like insanely excited for Jack because he's my favorite fighter, and seeing him fight live is going to be insane. But seeing this live is a whole nother story, dude. And I'm honestly excited for it. Both women are gonna bring it. Both women still have more to give in their career, so they're not gonna be slouching. They're not gonna be at the back end of their career. Where people after this fight are gonna ask questions like, "Oh, if she was more in her prime, how would that fight would have been?" No, I don't think we're gonna have those type of questions after this fight because both women, like I said, have more to give. So it's an amazing fight, and honestly, this might come close to Volk versus Folk versus Islam, one of highest technical champion versus champion fight we've ever seen, because both of these women, their skill sets and their finishes and their record and their resume speak for itself. I While Valentina has been on downslope and women have been making her fights a lot more closer than her previous fights, she's still beating these people. She's finding ways to evolve and adapt and find different ways to beat different styles of opponents. So maybe she comes in and maybe she's a bit bigger than Weili and maybe she smothers Weili. We don't know. We gotta see. And maybe Weili comes in and does something similar to what she did to Joanna Jędrzejczyk. You're gonna have to wait and see, man. But it's honestly an amazing fight, a high level fight. GOAT versus GOAT, pound for pound number one versus pound for pound number two. The two best women fighters in this generation, other than Amanda Nunes, going at it in their prime. It couldn't be better. It could not be fucking better, bro. So, yeah, that's gonna do it for this little breakdown. Mostly just me rambling, but is what it is. But thank you all for watching. That's gonna do it for this video. Make sure to like, comment if you agree with me that John Weili is going to win this fight, or if you think Valentina wins this fight, or if you think all my takes, what I just said, were wrong. Just comment anything. But subscribe, share, anything's appreciated, and remember, all the greatest fighters leave it all in the final round. Peace.